I'm speaking with Ralph from Bitten Apple TV, and as some of you may realize, if you're familiar with my show, his show, we are part of a family, as we like to call it, and it's nice to see you out and about.
That makes Mark Torres the father.
Now, if the camera's shaking, it's because Charlie's laughing, just so you all know. That's a little creepy now.
Well, I don't know. I feel like Mark Torres would be an interesting, geeky type of father who likes Power Rangers and things like that. And I feel like it'll be great. You know, the intern, not the intern, actually does a great impression of him.
Uh-oh, here he comes. Here he comes. We're having some fun now.
And I don't really understand what you're talking about. I mean, it's just me, Mark Torres, from It Came From the Radio. Hey, by the way, we have a live show coming up, don't we? I believe it's sometime this month.
Actually, no,
I can't remember.
The live show was Wednesday. The next live show won't be for another month.
Ah, you're right. Okay, I'm going to go get some pizza.
So now you have to check out It Came From the Radio if you haven't already and heard Mark's voice. So that was fun.
It was, you know, we'd be walking around and like, I miss Mark, and then he does that. I go, okay, Mark's right here.
You don't need Mark. Sorry, Mark, we don't need you now.
Mark, why are you stuck behind there? Oh, I see you back there. Come on, Mark. You need to come to the events and have fun with us.
And we do have fun. And now because we've been out and about just a little bit, but this is really sort of our big push. How does it feel?
It's funny. I've hit like 1 or 2 conventions so far, and each one feels completely different than the other. So it's always interesting to go into the convention and go, okay, so how is this one going to be? So this feels like WinterCon, but at the same time, the energy in here feels a little different. And I think that's because everybody's so excited coming back from not being at these conventions, especially since the whole mask mandate ended for New York City recently, and we're all ready to roam around the city doing crazy willy-nilly stuff. Or willy-nilly, nilly-willy. Well, you know who I'm talking about.
And that's what we're doing, crazy willy-nilly stuff. And we are having fun, and we are going to talk to some other people here, and I'm so glad to get to see you out and about and not on a video screen.
Right. You know, it's so fun to have you on the show and go, hey, Kate, how you doing? We get to hang out and talk all the crap that we want to talk about. You guys should really check out the green room. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. But you can see the live part of it, which is just as good, because I always say, like we were talking about in the green room, which is what usually happens, and it spills out into the show where we have a lot of fun and we talk a lot of geek stuff and we talk about everything under the sun, whether it's music, comic books, movies, because we like all this stuff because it's about being a geek of everything.
Yes, and now listen, if people do want to check you out, where do they go?
You go to Bitten Apple TV, that's right, Bitten Apple TV. You got Apple Bites on Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Written Writ Late Show, or Late Write, on Wednesdays at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Thank you.
Till next time, this is Written Writ Ralph signing off with Kate Fox.
Check them out.
Come with us. We're going to go see Kreskin. We may get a great interview. Let's go.
When I told him I was one of the actors, I go, listen.
I am speaking with the amazing Kreskin, which is always so exciting.
Kate Fox, I got to tell you something, and you got to tell them who we're with. Who we're with.
Who we're with? Oh, yeah. with Charlie.
Charlie,
with my friend Charlie from It Came From the Radio.
But I've known him from radio in the past. Charlie.
That's right.
Charlie, we know each other for a while. But Kate, I'm going to tell you something. You have a very strong rapport, even in the few remarks made, because I pick up vibrations from people very, very quickly and it's not always successfully, but you have a genuine, in-depth warmth about you, and that's a great quality, especially now when we are seeing, and as I've talked about many times on network television and radio, people are not communicating or hearing each other as well as they once did. They have relied on something called a cell phone. And a cell phone is very important, but it cannot replace our inner thoughts or the things that we did years ago when you went out on a date or you met somebody or you had a business meeting, and when you went home you sat down by yourself and munched on a bun or something and reflected on what you heard.
Yes.
We're not reflecting anymore.
No, we're not.
And this is serious, especially now with the, and I'm being interviewed on a lot of special news programs with all the trauma that's taking place and the tragedy. We need to communicate and reinforce, because I love this country, I love America, and we cannot let people abuse it. And that's all I'm going to say in that area there. But when you have a chance, all of you, pick up the phone and just out of nowhere call someone you haven't spoken to for a while and just spend 3 or 4 minutes with them. You have no idea how this could change their life and your own life.
I agree 100%.
But I just had to say this, because here we have a meeting of people. I'm meeting someone I've known in broadcasting for years, a very remarkable gentleman, and I've now rapport with a very special person, and I never say goodbye on interviews like this. I always say, to be continued.
I like that, to be continued.
That's the way my life is. Can you imagine that I am 87 years old, in the airline industry, just announced, well, it's before the pandemic, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, at that point, they have estimated that I have flown in my career a little over 3.5 million miles.
Wow.
They said there's almost no pilot in the United States that's had that many mileage, even professionally. So my work has taken me everywhere, including performances in Japan, where my audiences did not speak English and I did not speak Japanese, but somehow with interpreters we communicated. So communication is a very special thing in my life. And by the way, the important thing is that, and I've kept this secret, I do manage to stay sober. I'm only joking. If we can't laugh at ourselves, we are in trouble. We've got to laugh at ourselves.
Always.
Yeah. I'm glad we spoke.
I'm glad we spoke too. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. To be continued.
To be continued. The amazing Kreskin.
Look, there's a nice, funny-looking light. Does that mean we're recording?
Yes, it does.
How you doing, everyone in Kate Fox land?
I am speaking with Ruby Renexo.
Trying to speak to Ruby Renexo. I try to speak to Ruby Renexo every day, but it's a little weird because I am Ruby Renexo, but I don't know. How's that work?
It works. It's kind of wacky.
A little wacky?
Little wacky.
Just a little wacky, but you know me.
I do know you.
How you doing?
So what are you doing here today?
I am taking up precious time and space. Just what I do in life. Walking around. No, I am here in some sort of quote-unquote official capacity, hosting some panels and hosting the annual cosplay contest.
Okay, and so you're here today only on Saturday? Or?
I am here today only, so get me while you can, Kate Fox.
Oh, this is fun. And now, what are you dressed as? For people who don't know.
A mess. This is my lazy Iron Man get up. I do have the full armor with the helmet and the face plate and all that. Can't really do that when I'm hosting. So I have this mashup, this suit with the printed armor, and I got my little repulsor ray there. Boom! Look at that. And that's all I got. Lazy Tony Stark. Casual Tony Stark.
So casual Tony Stark. So you are here in an official capacity, as you said today. Now you do a lot of these conventions.
A lot, yes. A whole lot, Kate Fox.
A whole lot.
A whole lot.
And you dress up in a multitude of different costumes, such as.
That's a big word, like gymnasium. Okay, multitude amount of costumes. I've done a whole bunch of costumes. I do a lot of stilted outfits. I do Chewbacca, I do Hulk, Solomon Grundy, Gorilla Grodd. Those are all oversized monster costumes on stilts. I do some classic characters like the classic TV 1966 Batman. I actually do, like I said before, the full Iron Man armor suit. I do actually different variations of Batman. I do a Batfleck armor Batman, and I have a Val Kilmer Batman, a nippleless Val Kilmer Batman, by the way. No nipples for me. Sorry. I lost you there, didn't I? I lost you at the no nipples. I lost you at the no nipples. Okay, yes. Okay. Yeah, so I do a bunch of, I do Beasts from the X-Men. I got a whole slew of them.
And so, okay, so you do the cosplay, you host panels, you host costume contests, and you also, in another life, you're actually a musician as well.
In another life, you make it sound like I was like reborn or reincarnated in another time.
No?
Yes.
In a non-con life.
Yes. Well, the fact that I play is kind of a con, but so apparently, yes. I think yes, I am a musician. I use that word quite loosely, but yes, I do play. I play in a full production Kiss tribute band called Kiss Nation. If you remember Kiss from the 70s, those are the guys with the funny big heels and the big hair and the big makeup and the weird guy that sticks his tongue out. Which is not me, by the way, no. I play the lead guitarist, Ace Frehley, the spaceman, Ace Frehley, and you can check us out if you're really bored at kissnation.com.
Check them out. They're actually really good, despite what he says. And so I want to say thank you for talking to us. And it was nice to see you today.
I only see one person,
Us,
just
the Kate
us.
Fox Show.
Oh, okay.
My producer,
All right.
Charlie.
Oh, everybody. Is that
And
Charlie holding the
everyone who's
camera?
watching. Yes, it is.
How you doing, Charlie? She waited till the end to introduce you. I didn't
You
know.
people knew each other.
I didn't know, Charlie. I just saw you as some guy holding the camera. I'm sorry. Everyone, please note that whoever the gentleman holding the camera that you can't see, a fine gentleman named Charlie, that Kate Fox did not rudely introduce me until now.
Are you done?
I am done. Look, there's Frank. He's the big boss. He's not going to talk, but see, there you go.
So, well, there's nothing more to say.
Nothing more that I can say legally. But there's yes. Hi, I'm Ruby. How are you? Oh, and if you're really, really bored, you can find me on the interwebs on the Book of Face, what we call it, Facebook, at Planet Ruby on Facebook.
And you're also on Instagram.
I am, but it's my name is kind of hard. It's Rubinexo, but Planet Ruby is a lot easier to remember, and you can find my Instagram and my Twitter on Planet Ruby as well. I've got my own planet. It's kind of small, but you're all invited. Even you, Kate. Especially Charlie. He's coming.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me. All of me.
I'm speaking with Barbie Chula. Hi, Barbie.
Hi everybody.
Now, you are a very well-known cosplayer on this scene, and I have to say, dear Lord, wow.
Thank you.
Different from what you had on yesterday.
Yeah, completely different. People didn't recognize me today. Absolutely not.
Today, see, I'm used to seeing you in something a little more like this when I've seen you out.
Yes.
And sweet Jesus, you can carry it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But yesterday, you were completely hidden.
Yeah, completely hidden. Nobody knew it was me. I had to introduce myself. Oh, it's Barbie. I was like, oh yeah, it's you. So yeah, I like to be a chameleon.
That's a good thing. It keeps people interested.
Yes, it is. It is.
So now, you've been here both days. How's it been being out and about?
Good. Yesterday was a lot more people, but today looks nice. You know, it's family day, so yeah. Yesterday was bad weather. Today is a good weather. It's less people, so it makes no sense about whatever.
You never know, right?
Yeah, you never know.
So now, what do you have coming up next?
Next one I think is gonna be Big Apple Con. I'm not sure, but for sure I'm gonna be a New Jersey Horror Con.
Okay.
And it's gonna be in April, so that's my biggest show.
Okay. Now, if people want to find out where you're going to be or find out about you, where can they look?
Everywhere it's Barbie Chula NYC, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere, same name, Barbie Chula NYC.
Okay, well, I want to say thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Check her out. We are sitting here with Nerds in a Bar. We are speaking to Gil and Batman Mark. And tell us a little bit about what it is you do as we sip our beverage.
It's actually ginger ale, special exclusive drink for WinterCon here at Nerds in a Bar. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching. And just to explain what Nerds in the Bar is, I guess I'll
I'll start, and then I'll hand it off to you.
Boys.
We're nerds. We talk about pop culture. We talk about beer. We drink beer, and we have fun. But then I'll let my tech-savvy friend here, because I'm the analog man.
I'm not getting into tech stuff. I was just going to say that we have
tech-savvy.
we have a very interesting concept. So everybody can review, everybody can talk, everybody can give an opinion and throw it up on YouTube, and it's just another channel. But we take it to the next level. We actually go and sit in a bar and talk about pop culture. We talk about toys, movies, comics. We sit at the bar, we have some drinks, some beers, and we just go to town and talk nerdy. So, it's a gimmick, and I think it's going to work.
It's not a gimmick. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, that too.
I got that in my head. Talk nerdy to me.
Talk nerdy to me. That's actually
That's actually one of that's our podcast.
That's actually the name of our podcast.
Talk
Yes,
Nerdy
Talk
to
Nerdy to Me. If you go on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and look for Talk Nerdy to Me, that's us.
We'll show up.
Yep. Oh yeah. So that's another thing is we've got some fun like names for some of our things, right? So we do review shots. So you go to a bar, you get a shot, right? It's quick. So we do quick review shots.
And the reviews are no more than 2 to 5 minutes tops.
Right. We try to keep them at 2 to 3.
That's a review shot. 2 to 3 is the norm.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go a little longer depending on the product. But then we also have what's known as barrel aged.
Barrel aged.
And barrel aged is where we take a figure from previous that we had as a child or that we knew of, and we compare it to a modern version of the same character.
Yeah.
So we barrel age the figure and we compare the old to the new and show people what it was to what it is now.
Yep.
And it really makes the difference.
Yeah, we've done He-Man from 1983 all the way up to today. 2020 was the most recent release of He-Man or reboot.
We did the G.I. Joe Bat figure, which was one of your favorite.
We did the BAT. We also did Snake Eyes.
We did Snake Eyes.
And then we did Skywarp from Transformers.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've done a few of these. They're in the barrel, as we like to say.
Yes.
And you can check us out on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch, on TikTok.
There's one more. We go into the cellar sometimes.
Oh, the cellar. The cellar's interesting.
That's where we keep the fine wines.
We keep the fine wines and the fine...
That's right.
Wait, not just the fine wines, but the fine bourbon barrel-aged stouts that I drink so well.
That's right.
I'm a stout man, tried and true. Mm-hmm. Just call me Stout Man. No, not Stout Man, just
I
Batman.
thought it was Batman.
It is Batman.
You're confusing the viewers.
I know. No, I'm Batman. Okay.
No, you can't do that anymore. Robert Pattinson doesn't do the growl. He just talks.
He doesn't do the growl.
He can't do the growl anymore.
He barks.
Oh, did I just give a spoiler? I'm sorry.
What?
Never mind. Moving on.
He doesn't do. You mean he doesn't go there and go, I'm Batman.
He doesn't. He goes, he's vengeance.
I'm vengeance. But yeah, he growled when he did I'm vengeance, though.
A little bit. Okay, so there's...
All right. I got another question then. You guys are talking about comparing, the toys of old to the toys of new, and I don't know if you guys remember, but that Optimus Prime that we got in the 80s was all metal. And it was beautiful.
It was die-cast.
Right. So, have you guys tried to compare it to a more recent Optimus Prime?
Everything's plastic, man. There's no die-cast anymore. And if you want die-cast, you'd have to go, high-end, right? And that's going to end up costing you $500 or $200 for one figure. They do make them, but do you really want to spend that kind of money when you can buy one for $24? I mean, if you got it, great, but it gets pricey.
If you can afford it, great for you.
But back in the day, it was just the norm. Everything was metal.
Everything was metal.
Even
back then.
Tonka trucks were completely metal, right?
That's right.
Now they're plastic.
Yeah,
they can't handle anything.
The little Hot Wheels and Matchboxes are all, they used to be like really heavy.
Yeah.
And now it's like.
Right, they're half plastic.
Wait. Do you know why they went from metal to plastic? Okay, because a Hot Wheels car could become a projectile if thrown at a brother or a sister at their head. So they had to make them light enough so that they wouldn't get hurt.
There we go.
I did not do that. That did not happen, and you can't prove it.
Whoa, touchy subject.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
I don't nobody.
Whoa. This kind of feels like a therapy session, maybe a legal brainstorm, I'm not sure. But
That's what happens when you get a couple of nerds and throw them in a bar.
so now, we're at WinterCon, of course, and how's it been going for you guys here?
Oh gosh, we've had a ball here. Like, this is the first time we've ever really done anything like this. So I think we're going to do it again because we had a ball talking to everybody, just talking up the channel, grabbing some new subscribers. You know, just it's fun hanging around with people like minds. Meet people like you. And look, here we are. We're doing an interview. Who knew we were going to be doing this?
Who knew we were going to be the ones interviewed? Usually we're doing the interviews.
Yeah, we're on the other side of things here.
When we go to a Comic-Con or a toy show, we go out in the field like you are now with us, and we go to them. This is the first time we've brought our own bar with us. Normally we go to a bar and we interview people in the bar. So instead of that, today we've decided we're going to bring our own bar with us, and we're going to set it up, and because this is a kid-friendly show, we can't serve alcohol, so we're serving ginger ale and root beer. Root beer. But then we have fun, and this is what we do. We enjoy what we do. We have a lot of fun. This is, you talk about being therapy. This is therapy for us.
It really is.
This is therapy for us. So we have fun at what we do. I'm going to be 60 in a few more years, okay? In my head, I'm still 18, and it's not going to change. Yeah. 26 was interesting time for me, but I still enjoyed 18 better.
Let's not talk.
That's when I was a professional. Well, let's not talk about that either.
More therapy.
Oh my God.
So what you're telling me is that usually you go to the bar and then you do the interviews. So that means that what's happening right now is you brought the bar here and the interview came to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
It's been totally flipped on its end. I can't understand.
I can't either.
What's happening.
Yeah. And actually, we actually did an interview with the amazing Kreskin. I watched him as a child with my parents on the Johnny Carson show, and the man is amazing, okay? He is truly the amazing Kreskin. And if you remember, Johnny Carson did a spoof on him.
Oh, yeah, the big hat. Yeah.
He put the hat on, he gave the envelope.
Right.
The Karnak, right?
Wow, yeah.
Kreskin, Karnak, okay? But that was Johnny Carson's spoof on the amazing Kreskin.
Insane.
And to be honored in that way, to have literally an icon of the industry to come and sit down with us for even 10 minutes, that he was gracious enough to to give us the time, it's an amazing testament to who he is. And so that we had him come down and sit with us. We had Xavier Paul Cato from the Cyberverse. Okay, he's a voice actor, and he's also a voice teacher, and he's also a booking agent for his friends, and that's what he does. And his energy, it lifts everybody. That's the type of thing we're looking for. The positive. I always believe that if you put out positive energy will reap positive action. And today you need more positive energy than anybody. And that's what it's about. It brings a smile to people's faces to be able to do something like that. And that makes me happy. Because if I make you smile, if I make you laugh, then I know I've done my job.
Right. Exactly. That's what we do. Yeah. And those two interviews we just talked about will be on our YouTube channel.
Which is?
YouTube.com/nerdsofthebar.
One more time, please.
YouTube.com/nerdsofthebar.
You heard it here.
Your website is?
Nerdsofthebar.com.
Nerdsinthebar.com. Nerdsinthebar.com. Nerdsinthebar.com.
Nerdsinthebar.com?
Nerdsinthebar.com.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Got it.
I want to say thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having us talk with you.
It's a pleasure. Check them out.
Please.
I'm speaking with John Capodici.
That's right.
And it is so nice to meet you.
Well, it's nice to be here. Nice to be here. Yeah. It's great. Lovely people, a lot of fun, and very, very nice. What can I say? It's good. Cool.
It is cool. Well, people want to see, and it's funny, people want to see you. You've done so much in so many different things.
Yeah, it's funny you should ask that, because I tried to stay away from being dubbed a certain character. Even though I'm Italian, I haven't really done that many mob movies. I've done more lawyers, doctors, accountants, and blue-collar truck drivers. So I felt that was a good thing to do, because if you really get labeled, then you're kind of stuck in that one vein. Unless you become a movie star in that one vein, that's okay. But most of us don't become movie stars. So I thought it was try to be original and diverse, I guess, if that's a bit of a contradiction, but that's what I did. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're so recognizable from so many different things, and that is what you did. You were diverse, and you kept working and working.
Yeah. It's been a long time since 1970, but I have kept working, and look, I found something I love. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of pain in this business. I won't be dishonest, and it's there's some rough mountains you have to climb, but in the end, it's always fun doing stuff like this. It's great. I guess I like the attention. I'm an actor, so. But overall, I'd do it again. I'd do it again. So that must say something, right?
Well, that's nice to hear, because that means you had a good experience as well.
Yeah, worked with some great people, complimentary. I've worked with, sometimes Jane and I go over it, I've worked with maybe 5 or 6 Academy Award winners, Meryl Streep, Michael Douglas, Alan Arkin, and I've worked scenes with these people, not just, hey, how are you, regular scenes with them. Nick Nolte, I worked, I held my own with him. I always try to, when I work with these people, not get over, don't let them dominate me. You know what I mean? I'm there to do the work, and I'm going to do my very best. And if they're not going to do their best, well, that's their business. They usually are, of course. But just bring your A game to everything you do. And I've done that, So I always remembered that some actor told me something. Always be good, because you never know who'll come out from the rain and watch you. So, you know what I mean? Never fake it. I've never faked it so far.
You know what? And it's very evident. And you have held your own. They should say, I worked with John Capodici, because you've held your own with everybody.
Yeah, and I think people do say that, and I'm very proud of that fact. That, John, I love his work. John's great. Hustler, works hard, and brings his A game every time. So I'm happy with that.
Well, I think you should be, and your fans are very happy with that as well.
All that stuff there. Yeah, it's a lot of, everything's a little bit. There's a cop, there's a comedian, kind of character actor stuff. So yeah, I've done it. I've done it.
Absolutely. And now you are, I believe, your next appearance is going to be at Chiller Theater?
Yes, Chiller. I've never done that before. I hear it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of mates there. I have Timmy Busfield, who I did Getting Out with. Barry Corbin I've worked with. There's another Barry I know. Chris Lloyd, I did a movie called Last Call. Very good, funny movie that was handled all wrong. And I remember working with Chris. He was a lot of fun working with him. And so a lot of people I've worked with are going to be there. So it'll be a nice reunion for me.
Oh, really that's nice. Great. That's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. Because it's nice when we haven't seen each other. I mean, last 2 months ago I was down in Atlanta with the lovely actors from E.T. What's their name? The mother. Lee, whatever, and we hugged each other for about a minute. We had seen Dee Wallace.
Yes.
And Dee and I did, I think, 1 or 2 low-budget movies, and we just hugged forever. I brought my daughter, and my daughter said what a fan she's been. So that's always really nice when you haven't seen each other for 20 years, but you remember.
Absolutely.
You remember the roles you played with them and how much you enjoyed their work, Although when I ran into Murphy Brown, which Candace Bergman, she said, "You're a little gray." I said, "I'm also a little less too," because I did the first season of Murphy Brown. So
that's right.
Candace went, "You're a little gray." I said, "Yeah, gray. I'm also a little less too." So I played an overweight judge anyway, so it was fine. That's another thing. Joe would think me as a judge, but in fact, the casting director, "Are there judges like you?" I said, "In New York, yes, they are. They're very organic and real," and so I got the part, which was good. A lot of fun. Anyway.
That's great. Great. Well, I want to say thank you so much for talking to us. It was a pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure indeed. Thank you very much. Great.
This is Charlie Saladino came from the radio, and I cannot believe I am about to talk to Denise Crosby. Denise is the most seasoned actress that I will ever interview. Star Trek, Pet Sematary, The Walking Dead. Now my TV show is science fiction, and I am not even going to start with Star Trek. They're going to hate me for that.
Oh, no.
But Denise, how are you?
I am so good. It's so nice to talk to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me ask you something. Pet Sematary, that was a real groundbreaking film. How was it to work on that film?
You know, I was so privileged to be able to do that movie. First of all, I was a huge Stephen King fan before I even, stepped foot on the set. Also, my dear friend Mary Lambert was the director of the film, and she had made a promise to me that we would work on a feature film together, and she held true to her word, and that's very rare in Hollywood, as you can imagine. So it was just a great place to be. We got to film in Maine, Stephen's land, that he knows so well and writes about so beautifully, and it stood the test of time. I mean, people seem to really, really appreciate the film.
And now let's move to Ray Donovan. Such a powerful series, and you are magnificent on that. I'm just going to ask you how it feels, because I'm the guy on the other side watching you.
Oh my God! Again. So Ann Bitterman, the creator of Ray Donovan, just wrote a very hard-hitting, edgy piece of drama, and it was the second series I was privileged to work on with her. She had created the show Southland that ran for a number of years, and when Ray Donovan came along, I saw this part. I had read the script and just thought it'd be so much fun to be part of, and it was people really responded to this show, and it was just great.
Okay, now I gotta do this. Tasha Yar, yeah, that spaceship thing. Again, you had to realize I always ask, like Will Shatner, I had to ask him, did you realize what was going to happen? And he would go, no, I didn't, But you went into it knowing that you were going to be, oh my God, just associated with this forever.
It's impossible to really envision what your life is going to be like, once you step into this. We were the first show to kick it off after a 25-year hiatus. So, quite frankly, I wasn't sure if it was going to work at all. Fans were very protective, and they loved their franchise, and we weren't met with great enthusiasm at first until the show began to air, and people seemed to really, really respond. But it's extraordinary how it has touched a nerve in our modern culture and resonates still to this day.
Okay, now here comes the big question. What's down the road for Denise Crosby?
Well, I continue to, do different roles, different parts in television, movies, theater. I'm writing right now, which is really exciting for me. Entering a new kind of chapter. And, I just finished a role on NCIS. I played the Secretary of the Navy, which may be recurring, so we'll see how that goes. And, I'm just privileged that I can continue to, stay in this beautiful, beautiful art form.
Well, not that you need people to get it, but do you have social media where can people see projects that are coming up?
Absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter at the Denise Crosby. It's verified, so it has the little blue check, except no others except that one. And please do. There are I tweet, and I'd love for you guys to come along.
Denise, thank you so much. Keep inspiring, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
It is my pleasure to see you. Thank you.
I'm speaking with Rico Ross, and you are currently multitasking because you have been busy today and yesterday.
Well, I was going to try and multitask, but I got to be honest with you, I'm terrible at it. I'm not good at it, so I stopped. No, yeah, we've been busy today. We had the panel, and it was a great audience, and we just had a lot of fun. And it continuously reminds me that it's the audience that keeps us coming back, and it's kept this film alive for 30-something years, and also has made this cast like family. You know, because normally when you make a film, before the film even comes out, you've already gone on to another project, and you said goodbyes, and you said to the cast members, I hope we work together again, and that's it. But because of the fans and each generation of fans that keep coming, this film stays alive, and it keeps us coming back and appreciating what we did together. You know.
Let me tell you, we saw the panel you did today, and just the rapport and the back and forth, all of you, it was so nice to watch, and the things you had to say were fantastic.
No, you know, a lot of times you work on films and people don't get along that well. And I don't mind that, because sometimes I'm playing a character where I don't want to get along with that other person. And as a person that uses method acting sometime as well, I'm cool with that, you know. Lance in our film, who played the android, Bishop, during the whole filming of that film, we did not hang out. He did not hang out with everybody else. He was a loner. And that's what he wanted to do to prepare for his role. He wanted to not be with everybody else. That worked for him, and that worked for us. We, on the other hand, before the film even started, 2 weeks before the film even started, we went to a kind of created boot camp where we learned how to be real soldiers. And in that 2 weeks, before film ever got started, we got to know each other. We got to know each other, how we could push certain buttons, how we can tease each other, how far we could go. And when you see the film, I think that shows in the film, the relationship. And then when you saw the panel, you still see that we're just like brothers and sisters. They know how to get on each other's nerves. They know what to say. They know what they can get away with and what they can't get away with. And then also James Cameron, he also allowed us to do that, to play like that when we were filming. So he had the script written. We knew what the scene was. We knew what the words were on paper, and most of those words were what you would see in the film. But he also gave us a license to, if we were so inspired, to add lines, to throw lines in. And I was giving an example about, we were talking about the Arturian Puntain at the breakfast table, and Mark's character goes, "Oh, but Rico, yours was a male," and he just threw that in. But one of the rules in improvise is that you always go along with it. So if somebody says something, yes, but, and then you go along with it. So he threw that in, and so I went, yeah, but it don't mind when it's Arturian, baby. And so I threw that line in, and when you watch the film now, those lines are in the script now for prosperity, you know. So
that's really great. And now, okay, so that is one of the biggest. Well, no, you've done a lot of stuff. Is that your favorite project? Do you have a favorite project that you've done?
Favorite project? It would probably be my favorite project. Yeah, it's not my favorite role.
Okay.
But it's my favorite project.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, and it's my favorite project because it was so different from anything else I'd ever seen. But I had just come off of a film with Vanessa Redgrave's daughter, Jolie Richardson, and her and I were the leads of the film. And I really thought that film was going to catapult my career. And it came out, and it dealt with some social issues that had happened with gun violence. and the film just really flopped because of it, because people just couldn't relate to it as a film anymore. They saw it as a social statement kind of. And so I remember reading that script and thinking, this is going to change my life. And so after that, and I ended up getting James' script, I read it and I thought it was a great script, but I also couldn't get hyped about it anymore because I just thought I saw what just happened. So I didn't get that hyped about it. And it wasn't until the film actually came out, we were working on it, it was an amazing film, but you never know. And when the film actually came out and I saw it, and I saw my friends as actors, now the characters that we had all created, and I also saw the audience reaction to it, and that's when I thought, yes, this is special. This is special.
That's great. And now, what have you got going on now?
It's funny because about 10 years ago, Lance Hendricks, who played Bishop, we're at one of these cons, and he said, Rico, you should start doing some of these indies, man. I was going, really? He said, yeah, in student films. I was going, there's no money in it, man. I'm not doing this for a hobby. I need to pay my bills. He goes, but there's not a lot of money in it. But he says, what there is there's energy, and there are unique roles that you can play that you probably wouldn't get a chance to play on these big films. And so I started doing these little films, and one film in particular was called Night Walk. And they had so little money that we just shot a few scenes. And then they took those scenes and they took it to Cannes, and there was a big write-up about this film. About this is the first film where they talk about, where you actually see a discussion between the West and the Middle East about why they hate each other, because the film takes place in prison and there's no way of getting out. So you actually have these conversations, and I'm playing a Muslim terrorist.
Wow!
And because of that article, they ended up getting the funding for the film. We then end up going to Morocco, Casablanca, to shoot the film, the whole feature of it, and we end up casting Mickey Rourke in it, and other big actors, and Eric Robertson, and I could just name a number of them, but the film comes out, and Mickey Rourke ends up getting Best Actor, and so you never know with these films. So that film, as long as it took, it's a process to get a film out. It just came out last year, and so that's a film out right now called Night Walk. So that's something that's just come out that people can watch, and I'm proud of that role too, because I was able to create that role from scratch, and then I put on my producer's hat about 5 years ago and started producing films. And one of the films that I produced is called Do Something, which is a film about 3 generations of female activists. The grandmother was an activist in the 60s during the civil rights issues, and then her daughter strayed away from activism completely and became a Hollywood executive, and then her daughter became an activist during the recent events that took place. And so we shot this film during the pandemic, and we shot it, half the film was shot with iPhones, because you could, like we're doing right here, this is an iPhone, and we shot half of it, and it was written in the script, so it worked, and then the other half we actually had to shoot on location. But the film came out, we put it in 10 different film festivals so far. It's won 7 awards already. And so I'm really happy about this. I'm really proud of this project, and we're now trying to change it so that we can possibly take the film, cut it into a pilot, and pitch it as a TV series. And it's called Do Something, and I'm really proud of it. And I also think it's got a nice message, and it gives the world an insight of what really happens to certain activists when what you have to sacrifice to try and push social issues further.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And now, if people want to look up some information, if they want to check you out, where do they go?
My Facebook account got hacked. I don't know how. Like everybody. and I don't know what Facebook is doing with all their money, but one thing I know they're not doing with it is putting it on customer service, because there's not. I just said forget it. I'm not going to be on it anymore, because I can't figure out how to get out of this thing. And then so I just Instagram it, and my name Rico Ross Instagram.
Really, Rico Ross? I didn't know.
It's so easy. Rico Ross Instagram. And so yeah, that's an easy way to get in contact with me. Hit me up on Instagram.
I want to say thank you so much for talking to us.
was my
It is
pleasure.
an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, Miss Fox. Thank you.